please rise. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember our troops abroad and their families here at home. Thank you. We have a couple of proclamations, actually three proclamations to kick off our meeting. First one I'll read, which is Irish American Heritage Month. Whereas throughout American history, millions of Irish immigrants have traveled to the United States of America in search of freedom, justice, and opportunity. And whereas, fleeing religious, social, and political discrimination, as well as starvation and disease, these immigrants depend on the strong spirit and character of their Irish heritage to succeed in the new land. And whereas, Americans of Irish descent have played a vital role in shaping our history and culture and exploring our frontiers and fortifying our democracy through their military and public service. Whereas, organizations such as the Ancient of Hibernians and the Friendly Sons of Shillelagh, to name a few, have allowed Irish Americans to gather with each other and honor their Irish heritage. And whereas Irish American Heritage Month celebrates the contributions of these talented and industrious people and recognizes their rich legacy, now therefore be resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar do hereby proclaim March 2014 as Irish American Heritage Month in the Borough of Belmar, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, and urge all the citizens of Belmar to celebrate the contributions of Irish America. Next, Councilman Dean.
Thank you.
I've never been there in Ireland.
Whereas intellectual and developmental disabilities are conditions which affect more than 7 million Americans and their families, whereas public awareness and education enhance a community's understanding of the issues affecting people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, whereas people with intellectual and developmental disabilities can be vital and vibrant members of our community, improving the quality of life for all of us, whereas the month of March has been designated Development Disability Month by the state of New Jersey, with 20 chapters of the ARC undertaking public awareness, educational, and fundraising initiatives. Whereas the ARC of Monmouth serves over 1,400 individuals with intellectual disabilities throughout Monmouth County and advocates for and with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. Whereas the ARC of Monmouth is celebrating 65 years of service to families and individuals throughout Monmouth County. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar do hereby proclaim March 2014 as Development Disabilities Month in the Borough of Belmar, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, and urges that the citizens of Belmar, New Jersey, give full support to efforts towards enabling people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to live full and productive lives of inclusion in our communities.
Thank you, Councilwoman Keel Blackburn.
Resolution designating the month of March as Women's History Month. Whereas New Jersey women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our state in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. Whereas New Jersey women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the state of New Jersey by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside the home. Whereas New Jersey women have played a unique role throughout the history of the state by providing a majority of the volunteer labor force of the state. Whereas New Jersey women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our state. Whereas New Jersey women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. Whereas New Jersey women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolishment movement and emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching of, and study of American history. Whereas the Department of Community Affairs, specifically the Division of Women's Goals, are to remember and celebrate New Jersey women and to ensure that New Jersey women are offered equal opportunities in education, workforce, and health care regardless of age, sexual orientation, income, ethnicity, race or religion, identity, implant, measure, and coordinate programs that address the needs of New Jersey women, encouraging continuous study and research on issues affecting New Jersey women and their families, develop policy papers and legislative recommendations. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the governing body of the Borough of Belmar, State of New Jersey, that March 2014 is designated as Women's History Month under the National Women History Project 2014 theme, celebrating women of character, courage, and commitment.
Thank you, Councilman. We do not have a proclamation for you to read.
That's okay.
Let's move to our workshop. First on our workshop are our friends from La Dolce Vita, who would like to talk with us about a liquor license expansion for their business. So Nick would like to come on up and just sort of, as a refresher, just, how many years you've been in business?
Sure.
How you started as a little pizzeria and now you're like,
No, we used to come there. Still do.
wow.
Okay, so, Giuseppe, so we have La Dolce Vita, which is 400 Ocean Avenue, which is on the corner. We also have the pizzeria since 1999, and it went through a bunch of different names. So the last one was Crave Pizza. We have the opportunity to take the two middle stores that have kind of been abandoned and try to make one uniform, nice restaurant there. It would be under the same corporation, which would be Fusel LLC, but it would be operating as two separate doing business as. One would be, we wouldn't touch La Dolce Vita, we would leave it exactly the way it is. What we're looking to do is create something a little more casual on the ocean. The idea is to put a brick oven pizza, pasta, antipasta bar, lunch, maybe even breakfast, and make it all nice and uniform. So we're looking to expand the liquor license to the building to the left. So we talked to the police, and they seem to be on the page that it is doable, so we're here to get your permission.
So, and again, looking at this picture, the color picture, so the liquor license right now is with La Dolce Vita at 400. What's the address of the other property?
So it's
like
402,
406?
406, 408. It's, there's actually 3 stores on the first floor. So we occupy the pizzeria, and then there was a meat shop that was in the last door closest to La Dolce Vita, and there was a ice cream shop that did breakfast as well, and some salads and stuff. So what we would simply do is we wouldn't touch the pizzeria, would stay exactly the same. We would just take the meat shop and the ice cream store and make it into a dining room. And then we would build out a patio similar to what we did for La Dolce Vita.
And I've been to Crave.
Yeah, sure.
So if I'm there, I order my food or sit at the high tops outside, and it's pretty simple how the food gets there, right? They make it and then someone serves it to you.
Exactly.
If someone's gonna get a cocktail, where would that be prepared? Would it be prepared inside La Dolce Vita and walked out, or would it be?
Can I show you on the thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So when you walk through this arch here,
right.
La Dolce Vita now, you'd be able to basically make a right turn and go into La Dolce Vita, or you'd be able to make a left and go into the patio of the new proposed place. When you go into the patio of the new place, that would put you right here, which would be another bar. So this bar would be half outside and half inside. But outside meaning not where it's completely outside, just under the overhang, we would have one of those garage doors that we put at La Dolce Vita, would come right down on the bar top. So I mean, when we can use it, we just roll the door open, and we'll have some stools up to the building. But they'll be outside, but they'll be right up on the building. And then you'll have the inside seats that'll look out into the ocean. And then this will all be dining room here, and then you'll be able to walk straight through.
Okay, so the service would be here?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is
Does everyone see where that is?
a self kind of contained bar itself.
Yeah. So it's 11 seats on one side, and then there's, I think that's what proposed what he might be able to fit. It may wind up losing a couple seats for service bar and stuff. But it would be in line, same hours of operation as La Dolce Vita.
And just remind us what those are.
Yeah, sure, it's 10 during the week, 11 on weekends. The kitchen closes. if we're ever there after that, it's usually we're waiting for a few tables to leave, but everything would be pretty much totally in line with what we do existing.
And, I mean, looking at this drawing, you know, it looks great.
Yeah.
What was there this year? You had canvas?
Yeah, we had like, we kind of separated by just putting like some canvas. It was kind of more makeshift. We put those like shades, kind of creating a little bit shade there. We've used umbrellas in the past. We've used planters to create some separation in the past. This would just give it more, when you drive up Ocean Avenue, we just think this would be more impressive when, you know, you drive up Ocean Avenue, you see something like this, it's just more inviting. And that it actually allows us to contain everything a lot better because of the wall. So it saved us going to Sandy, so it's the only, you know, it was the only thing that kept the ocean out of the restaurant, so.
Chief, you have any comments, one way or the other?
No, it's not an issue for us at all.
Who owns both buildings?
So they're two separate landlords. One is Ed Lippincott. I think his father's owned it before him. The other one is owned by Ken Development. So we would hold a lease in all the locations, just the same way we hold a lease at La Dolce Vita. We would have a lease in all. Fusal LLC would be the corporation, which would be the leaseholder.
So I believe this is called license splitting. Months ago, I called the alcohol board on something else and explained it all. And what they explained to me, I do believe this would fit within that license splitting definition. Mr. DuPont, do you know the license splitting case rules that they were following, top of your head by chance?
No, not without looking at the statute. It's my understanding that this is a permitted request that they're seeking.
What's that mean, a permitted request?
Well, I mean, they're just asking to expand on this, the license expansion right now. I mean, it's my understanding that they have sought information from the ABC with respect to this expansion, and that expansion has been, at least approved, correct?
It's the way, it's up to interpretation. So the way it reads in the ABC, it would be considered an expansion of premises.
Right.
And because the buildings are adjoining, meaning that there's no public access in between the two buildings,
That's the key.
it's all
Right,
connected.
and I
so-
think,
Yeah.
that's the, as you said, the key, to
Yeah.
permit this okay or
Yeah.
approval.
Previously, it was an issue. This is something we wanted to do for a while, but because the two stores were in the middle, were occupied by other tenants, so it wasn't considered to be contiguous.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to be patient, back off, and then I guess opportunity presented itself this year, so we put together this drawing, and you know, something we'd really like to do. We think would be great.
I see no problem with this.
Now, your restaurant is high-end, and down at the other end, you can run in and get burgers or pizza, slice of pizza. What are you proposing
We
to?
just want to make it more family-oriented, more casual, somewhere less intimidating, no tablecloths. Somewhere where you can come get trattoria, brick oven pizza, pasta, big salads, antipasto, some sandwiches, wraps. It would all be waitress service.
It's hard to find in that time to.
Just something a little more casual, more options.
Okay.
To pasta.
And right now, you're open all year long.
We are.
Are you planning to open
We would
the
love
whole
to, yeah.
building all?
I think we might have to do some, like, maybe offer delivery and stuff like that, but I'd like to try to stay open all year if we could there. It kind of just keeps, it just keeps it keeps the crew, is our main reason to do it. It keeps all our employees working, keeps all our core staff working, and, you know, it just kind of makes it easier. So we'd love to have it open all year, definitely.
Any parking issues?
No, parking's never
Now that
been.
we've metered it.
We do most of our business is done after 5 o'clock, so it kind of works out for us where a lot of the people are leaving the beach, so parking's never really been a huge issue for us, only like on the big holiday weekend, but for the most part, there's always plenty of parking down that end of town. We found, you know,
A lot of people on foot too.
yeah, a lot of people on foot are just, you know, we get a lot of locals.
You know, what kind of plans would you have, or to be the same as last year, you know, regarding things like entertainment?
I mean,
Last year you had just music.
yeah, we just
playing.
type music in Sirius radio. We've tried to do like stuff like light music or piano and stuff like that, but it just, well, Dolce Vita acoustically just doesn't work out. We don't really have any plans for entertainment. It'd be nice to have somebody maybe just a one-person kind of thing, nothing where it's multiple people or any type of DJ or anything like that. It would just be like maybe a guy on guitar or a guy playing the piano. But right now, we have no plans at all.
Did you say how soon that would be?
Because most of the hard things were all done last, like, not that they were done, it's all existing. So we replaced the counters and did all the tile work after the storm. So really, all we would have to do is the dining room and the outside patio. So we spoke to our contractor, and they said they can do this patio probably within a couple, like 2-3 weeks. So I would love to do it this year. I'm anticipating it would probably take us 4 to 6 weeks to get this ready.
Would the patio go out to the stone wall, or would it go out further than
I think I have the site plan, so I think it's 19 feet, it's the same sight line as La Dolce Vita, so it would be in line with that
that?
wall.
Okay, yeah, so the wall's in line with the...
It's gonna be
the arch.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So it would line up.
Got it.
Is that the wall
I
right
think
there?
that's-
See the same? Okay.
Yeah, so the walls, we just follow street. That's what the setback is.
All right, so we actually have some of those chairs, it'll be on the other side of that wall.
Yeah, same as Dolce Vita.
So you would also need planning board approval? Probably, right?
Planning board.
Zoning board approval?
We'll get you next steps.
Okay.
Yeah, I just came to this,
I think it looks
to make
great.
the first,
I think it's
first
a,
step to see if it was worth going forward, and then, from here, I guess, we'll do whatever we do.
yeah, I look forward to going to this. This is great. It's really nice, right?
It looks really good.
Quality stuff.
Great,
Thank you, Ted.
thank you.
And everyone knows that La Dolce Vita is now open and serving alcohol, so you go there, drink lots of wine, have a lot of fun. Call a cab, eat a lot of pasta. Thanks,
We
guys.
already have all that, just we're gonna connect these.
Next topic on our workshop
We already have.
is our beachfront. So we're gonna have a few things going on the beachfront this year. We're gonna look to have free Wi-Fi for the beachfront. We're gonna try to do a little bit more of a both family-friendly and also social media beach. So, we wanna tap in more to things like Facebook and Twitter, do some contests of people, send in their best pictures, and try to promote the beach more through social media. At the same time, we're gonna add beach clinics. So if you go to the beach now, we have 4 playgrounds, and they're great playgrounds, but they're really designed for somewhat older kids. If you have little kids, they can go on it, but the parents kind of have to chase after the kids. So the same company that put them in there are going to put in 4, one at each of them. I guess you'd say little tykes. Toddler stuff, more like 1 to 3-year-old, all plastic, no metal, no steel, no sharp edges, nothing any of the kids get hurt on. Sort of make a little better experience, particularly for parents who are bringing their children to the beachfront. Again, 8, 9-year-olds, they're going to want to go on the bigger stuff, and the parents can let them go. And I've been there. If your 2 or 3-year-old is walking around on the bigger stuff, you're either with them or you're freaking out watching them. We're also going to look at putting in some other stuff, cell phone charging stations, water bottle filling stations. We're also going to look to move, Fifth Avenue, we're hoping is going to be a construction site along with 10th Avenue by the summer. So we're going to move those concessions down a little bit. I will tell you that the one concessionaire at Fifth Avenue would like to move way down the beach, closer to 13, 14. So we're working with them on that. The bathroom's going to go back to where the bathrooms were last time, but that'll be some changes accommodating that construction. Other thing we're gonna do is, we're gonna look to move, and we're sort of catching up with some other beaches on this, to be completely 100% smoke-free. So, no smoking on the sand, no smoking on the boardwalk. Some of the beaches in the area that are like that, Spring Lake around us, some of the larger ones, Seaside Park and Seaside Heights. And, you know, I've been in contact with the mayor down at Seaside Heights, and I asked him, you know, did this have any impact on your beach, as far as less people coming because of it? He said, absolutely not. It was negligible at best. So we're gonna look to go, again, completely smoke-free. It helps significantly with the litter, and it also helps with enforcement, because we do have some areas right now where you can smoke, and if you're walking to there or walking back from there, this will be clean and simple for our police who are out patrolling. No smoking on the beach, no smoking on the boardwalk, 24/7, 365. The Belmar beaches are gonna be smoke-free for this summer. Anything else I'm missing on the beachfront?
Can you put the trailers that are on the, by consent, resolution by consent, would you just go over what we're bidding the trailers, where they're gonna go, how it's gonna work, since we're talking about the beachfront?
Well, the trailers, there's two things on it. The trailers are the bathroom trailers, and the boardwalk office
Right.
trailers,
And lifeguard.
and lifeguard headquarters. So, those are the trailers that are used either by the borough or by the folks that come here. Last year, we kind of got some cheaper bathroom trailers, and you can ask Director Campbell, it didn't work. You really need the commercial, industrial, public bathroom trailers down there to handle the crowds that begin. But the other thing on for tonight is going to be 2 concessions that are up for public bid. Now, one of the things we did last year to work with the business owners was we provided the trailers. We got a crane, we picked the trailer up, or moved it across the beachfront, or moved it across the boardwalk and put it on the sand side. This year, we're not really in a financial position to do that. So we're gonna allow them 2 options. One, they can do that themselves, get their own trailers at their own cost, get their own crane at their own cost, and put it on the beach side. Or do a food truck and have that on the street side. So the food truck would be parallel to the boardwalk. We'd have to sign off on what the food truck looks like. We don't want,
Any of the structures we're gonna sign off on.
right, we don't want something that looks shoddy, but most of these operators are pretty good, so they're not gonna get a shoddy truck. We're gonna put regulations on, you know, they have to be there by a certain time, otherwise they'll lose their opportunity to be there for the day. They can stay overnight. Talking with them, a lot of the times they're gonna have to leave, not a lot, but sometimes they're gonna have to leave to go get provisions and go get, to pick up food or whatever else they need for the following day or following week. So right now, we already know that Exit 98 wants to get their own trailers, and they want to crane it over. So remember Exit 98, they're the boutique, kind of 2 trailers that are put together. They want to be on the sand side. 10th Avenue Freeze Out also wants to be on the sand side. The other folks we talked to, Jake Crab Shack, if you remember, Matisse was there last year, but their spot's up for bid. And we haven't heard yet back from Muscle Maker about what they would be interested in doing, but that space is also going to be up for bid. So in those cases, we would look to allow them to also do food trucks on the street side. So the idea is, you know, we want people back up there. We can't afford the cost of what it cost us last year, but we want to work with them on not breaking their bank in coming back and servicing the beachfront as well.
Parking,
So those are 2 different resolutions.
that answers my question, thank you. Benches, everybody's asking me about benches, when we need benches up there.
Have we put an order yet, or we're in the
Yep.
process? We're in the process of putting an order for 50
50 benches.
50 benches. Whatever the cost of the bench is, that's what, if you want to put a plaque up there and memorial someone, we're just going to charge you exactly what it costs the borough. So while we're going to put the money up front, there's such a demand for the benches, we're pretty confident that whatever dollars we spend on them, we're going to get right back.
How many do we currently have? Don't we have? We have a handful up there, ones that weren't damaged in the storm or that we had in the garage already. So there are some up there, it's just nowhere near what we lost.
Will these additional ones, including those that are out, will that be a higher number than we did have prior to Sandy?
In terms of number of benches, I'd have to check, we want to start with 50. I'll tell you, I think we'll probably end up doing this in a couple of waves, just to try to get as many up there as possible. And then when we see what demand is in terms of residents wanting to purchase a bench, or to commemorate a bench, I think the demand will probably speak to what we end up doing.
Will they be facing in and out?
They'll be facing out. And 50 sounds like a lot, but when you put it over 20 blocks,
It's not all the time.
it's going to get eaten up pretty quickly. And the other thing, we're going to look to put more bike lanes on the beachfront as well. We encourage people to ride their bikes. However, we don't really provide enough spaces, so they end up, locking them up to the railings and the handicap accessible railings, and but it's something we should provide, and I think people will take full advantage of it.
Just something I wanted to know on the food trucks for people who maybe bid on those spaces with the food truck. The borough would be providing a power pedestal, which we already have down there, so these would not be there would be allowed generator running 24,
That's a great point, because one of the complaints you'd always hear about food trucks is this giant
noise.
humming noise from the generator. There'll be none of that. No generator.
Two things, if I can suggest or ask. Could we have additional picnic tables by the playgrounds? I know we have maybe one, and I didn't know if there could be two. I'm asked quite often, because most of the parents just kind of sit in the sand. And second, for beach badges, especially the first couple weeks, how there's a crowd down the boardwalk, which is good. Credit card transactions?
We're working on it.
Mayor, your idea of the free Wi-Fi and the more playgrounds, is this to attract more people, or we're offering something more, so therefore we can say, hey, you get more for your dollar here, or is this a strategy that we can charge a little bit more for these extra features? What direction are you heading?
The former.
Okay. Get more bang for your buck at our beach, hopefully getting a bigger crowd.
And again, drawing in more middle-class families from throughout New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania areas. And the other thing I failed to mention, we have swing sets by all of the playgrounds. We have swing sets that are for big kids, then we have swing sets for really with children with disabilities. What we don't have right now are swing sets for the little guys. So we're going to add them on as well. We have one right now on 4th. Our DPW is doing a second one on 8th, and they're going to put on the other ones as well.
The bucket.
Colleen, approximately, do you have an approximate cost for the benches?
The benches will be approximately $700. So if one family, if I wanted to purchase, or commemorate a bench for my grandmother, it would be $700. What we are going to offer is if you want to share that bench with another family, it would be $350 each.
So that's what we're looking at for the beachfront for this summer.
Any other suggestions, please
Yeah.
email us.
Yeah,
Let us
you
know.
what other towns may not be doing. And we'll have, again, we have a couple resolutions on tonight, but we'll have additional resolutions on at our next council meeting. I imagine the no smoking on the beach would have to be done by resolution, and again, that'll be done at the March 18th meeting. Sure.
I know we tossed around possibly having multi-head showers or expanding the platform where the shower is. Just
Would love to. Some of that is getting a little cost prohibitive, but anything we can do, we will. Expanding the platform section would be difficult at this point in time, but we can get some shower options.
And one other thing, personnel-wise, like I said, beachfront, our longtime lifeguard director, Billy K-Rats, unfortunately, will not be returning. He's been on the beachfront, I don't know how many decades. Does a great job, but I think he's at the point now where he actually wants to enjoy his summers as opposed to working 7 days a week. I'm sure sometimes it feels like 8 or 9 days a week. But he has, we're going to probably look within the existing lifeguards for a replacement. He's put together a good group of lifeguards for us to continue his legacy. So, but if you see Billy, thank him for his service, and we'll do a proclamation for him here as well. But yeah, so that's our beach run. Anything else that anyone else has for workshop discussion? No? Okay, next are petitions. Any petitions for the mayor and council? No. Okay, can I ask for approval of the minutes?
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting held on February 18th, 2014 be approved as recorded, and that a copy thereof be posted on the borough's website.
Second.
Councilwoman Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next are reports of mayor and council. As you may notice, Councilman McGovern, Council President McGovern is absent today. He's got some family issues to deal with, so we'll skip his report. But Councilwoman Keon Blackburn, and I see you brought Cat in the Hat here.
No. It's, I can read with
Oh, sorry.
my eyes shut. The parade on Sunday was absolutely wonderful. The rain held off until almost everybody was finished. I spoke with our police chief. We had no major problems, just the normal parade day problems. And as far as I understand, there were no big first aid problems, so that was wonderful. Great day, lots of people, and it seemed like everybody was having a good time. And I'm hoping all of the shops and restaurants did a good job. Belmar Women's Club this Friday will be going to Belmar Elementary School. This is Dr. Seuss week. It was his birthday. We will all be reading a Dr. Seuss book at the pre-K through 4th grades on Friday. Senior walking in the gym, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 1 until 2. I was very bad yesterday and didn't get there. Hopefully I will be there tomorrow. And my last item, the Methodist Church here in Belmar had a lot of problems after Hurricane Sandy, or thanks to Hurricane Sandy. They are finally reopening. March 15th, which is a Saturday, they are having an opening from 1 until 5. Everyone is invited. They'll have a dedication service, activities for all ages, an open house, and buffet. So if you are around on Saturday the 15th, it's at 701 D Street here in Belmar for a celebration of the Methodist Church. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bean?
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, any update on the gift cards?
It's still under investigation, both agencies, so we still don't have a conclusion yet.
Thank you. Going over the comments of the audit, they talk about the one case where the vendor contract in excess of the bid threshold, and if I'm reading this correctly, if I'm the wording correct, they're saying that which received condition authorized that was not subsequently memorialized by resolution. Does that mean we never did bring it up as a resolution?
I believe that it was an adjustment to an emergency authorization. You guys had authorized the additional value, and then an adjustment needed to be made. I think it was of a negative nature. And we did, I don't believe that came to you guys for authorization.
An excessive visual and one which received an additional.
Maybe it was additional. Okay, I'd have to check my notes.
Do you know which one that was or anything?
I don't, but I can get that back to you.
Okay. I like that, thank you. But I did go over the audit as thoroughly as a non-accountant can go over the audit. Mayor, I will give you a chance to respond to this during my report here, but I saw the video with you and the governor, and I wanted to say that it really bothered me that you had a chance to meet with the governor and to ask a favor, and that you didn't ask for, I thought the grants for our infrastructure, the hazardous mitigation grants, maybe the one for the Silver Lake, is something that you should ask the governor for if he had a chance, instead of asking to have the liquor license extended. I think our dunes are much more important than getting those liquor license extended, or, you know, just finding out what the grants, we're waiting on what's taken so long for some of these grants. I started thinking, why would he do this? Because it didn't seem to be in the best interest of the people in the area to have these liquor licenses extended, and then also for the other bars in town. I mean, they pay year-round for a bar license, and then you go and ask the governor to extend the seasonal, and so, you know, they're gonna lose a little bit of business on that. And I would just like you to please answer why, you know, you didn't think it was important to try to get these grants in place, but why it was important to get these liquor licenses extended. Go ahead, please.
Sure. I had an opportunity after, I think it was a press conference that he held in Kingsburg. I was there because they were talking about a second round of funding, Sandy funding, $1.4 billion to be split up between housing and business grants. So I went there, asked to have some private time with them, was able to get some private time with them, and I talked to him about 3 topics. I talked to him about his executive order, as he did last year, allowing seasonal liquor license operators to begin March 1 as opposed to May 1. I'll be honest with you, all year, both Nick at La Dolce Vita and Brian Katz at 10th Avenue Burrito were asking for that, and just like they had last year. There's only about 7, it's sort of an oddity, seasonal liquor licenses. There's only about 7 in the whole state. 3 are in Belmar, I think 2's in Spring Lake, and 2 are in Avalon. That's about it. And then 1's in Hoboken. There's 8. One's a pocketed license in Hoboken, from what I understand. So I asked him to do that. I also asked them to look into the application we have before the Economic Development Administration regarding a request for $3.1 million for our pavilions on 5th and 10th Avenue. We still haven't heard back from that, so I asked him to look into that. And I also asked him for the third thing, which was, sediment removal and a permanent solution to the overflowing, the flooding at Lake Como. So Lake Como is an oddity. It's actually a multi-jurisdictional dam. It's not even a lake, it's a dam. So there's nothing in FEMA that addresses any of this. So those are the 3 topics I asked them for. The easiest one, as you can imagine, is executive order, because the other 2 require funding. Now the first one, again, the pavilions through EDA. The second one, which was Lake Como itself, is actually funded and the contractor chosen through the Department of Environmental Protection. DEP has selected 14 lakes, coastal lakes in the state of New Jersey, to address with hazard mitigation. So those are the 3 topics I brought up with them. I didn't talk about the dune system because the DEP has already announced that they're looking to do a full hazard mitigation / dune system for the entire coast, from Cape May all the way up to Sandy Hook. So obviously we would be included in that. At the same time, we are going to receive, we should start the next couple weeks, receiving a significant amount of sand through beach replenishment. But getting back to my conversation with him, those were the 3 items I asked for. One, again, not to say it was easy for him, but because there's no dollar amount, I imagine that was the easiest of the 3. We're still in communication with DEP and EDA regarding the other 2 grants as well.
Okay, but why did you ask him for the extension?
Because the operators in Belmar, those businesses asked me to requested of him again this year as they did last year.
So
And
was
I'll tell
paid.
you, I've also been in contact with the other year-round liquor license operators, and I haven't heard one complaint from any of them.
Well, so it was a favor to these 3 seasonal liquor licenses that you did this, correct?
Correct.
I'm not big on political favors. Personally, I think if you get the governor's ear, I personally would have not brought up any kind of favor to help out 3 particular businesses in town that could possibly hurt other ones. And I'm sorry, nobody's gonna tell you that, yes, it hurts when you do this, don't do that. Nobody's gonna say that. But I just want to go on the record and say that I find this behavior, the political favors repugnant, and I don't encourage doing it. Would you like to, you can respond to that for me, I don't wanna.
Sure, I'll be honest with you, most people do tell me when I do something that hurts. I hear from businesses all the time, some are happy with what we do, some aren't. I can tell you there are year-round liquor license operators that are not all that thrilled with something like the 9th Avenue Pier, because it's a liquor license that was basically created out of thin air, as opposed to them having to buy one. So, you know, when businesses in town are not happy, I do hear from them. When residents in town are not happy, I do hear from them. And, you know, I will advocate for businesses in our town, I'll advocate for residents. If any business asks me, can we do a favor for them, I'll be honest, we're gonna try. It doesn't matter what the business is. Same thing with residents. If residents ask for a favor and if we can do it, we're gonna try. I don't see the point in not trying to help the small businesses in our town.
It didn't help the small businesses, it helped 3 businesses. But, okay, that's all I want to say about that. And also last, the new way that you're running the public session, I just want to go on the record in saying that if any of the public would like to ask me any questions or address me, I have no problem responding. Even though the mayor has changed the rules of the public session, I have no problem answering to any of the public whatsoever. So, that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Sure. Councilwoman Glenn?
Yeah, just a quick comment with the extension of the 3 establishments. I think that it's definitely increased employment. I know that I personally lost 2 babysitters because they went back to work early. So I think that that's very important, the increase in the employment. The other thing too is if residents or visitors come and go to those establishments, more than likely they're gonna stick around and go to other stores in town. So I think it's a good thing. On to Belmar Recreation, women's volleyball. Connie,
What?
volleyball?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, how about one with you?
Women's volleyball night begins Tuesday, March 25th, goes through June 3rd, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's a free program, so please show up. Saturday toddler time registration is on Saturday, March 15th, from 9:30 to 11. And it's free for Belmar and $25 for other towns. Senior walking in the gym is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m. through March 20th. And hopefully the weather will be warmer to be able to go outside. Belmar Elementary School celebrates Read Across America Week and promote and nurture the love of reading. This year also the Belmar Elementary School Drama Club will be doing Willy Wonka performances on March 28th and 29th. For the Belmar Arts Council, it's going to be a very, very busy March and April. For March 8th, from 5 to 7, there is the Jersey Shore Juried Art Show, celebrating the 10th year of the show itself, and admission is free, so please come out and see the photography, paintings, and sculptures. Saturday the 26th, the Arts Council will be dedicating the new train station mural. If you have a moment to go to it, it's great. It's the entire west side of the building at the train station. Later that day, the Arts Council will be open for the Belmar and the Railroad Art Show. Everybody's invited and it's free. And also on March 27th, the Belmar Art Walk will begin. Businesses are now signing up artists and musicians to display, demonstrate tourism in their shops. The event is a collaboration of Belmar businesses, the Arts Council, tourism, and the BBP. The goal is to promote Belmar as an arts destination and bring a lot of people into our town. Lastly, DPW has been extremely busy, obviously more snow. We won't let you guys catch a break. They prepped for the parade, they prepped for the snow. They retrofitted a truck to place brine on the street, so you've seen some of the white lines that preps it before the snow comes to help with the ice. They purchased a hot box. Not sure what that is.
Hot patch for potholes.
So we will be spending a lot of resources in the future fixing potholes. If you do see any potholes and you'd like to report them, please do it. dpw@borough, .belmar.newjersey.us, or please call our office here. And they're starting to put the skirt on the boardwalk for the summer season, which I think will look lovely. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. If I could ask our attorney to sort of explain to the council public session. One of the things I went through last time, because this came out of the municipalities, that public session isn't for the council, it's for public comment from the public. So could you explain what that means and why it's not, you know, if someone has questions, we can take the questions down and we can get back to them, but it's not a time for the council to speak, that's during reports and other parts. It's for public sessions, for the public to speak.
Well, that is true, and you as mayor kind of act as parliamentarian and officiate the discussion that is brought forth. So whenever a resident comes forth and asks a question, they direct it to you. You thereby answer it. You have the right as your role as mayor to answer that question or to seek answers from some of your colleagues or some of your directors. That being said, public discussion is not a free-for-all for the mayor and council to just join in on the discussion. You as the mayor and chief executive officer, so to speak, of the public have the right to answer those questions, and the meeting is supposed to go smoothly, but also at the same time allow the public discourse with you, the mayor, answering.
Thank you. I thought the parade went off really well. The weather could have been better, but I think the spirit of the people that came was great. I think it was good for the businesses in town, which after a long, cold winter, it was nice to see people on Main Street. I think I publicly stated this, but I would like to say it again. I do want to thank Governor Christie for his help with our small businesses, with the executive order allowing La Dolce Vita, 10th Avenue Burrito, and DJs to open 2 months early. It's good for those business owners, and as Councilwoman Nicolay said, it's actually good for the people who work there. So that means you have more waiters and waitresses employed, more cooks, more bar backs, more bartenders. So it's important for us, if we want to have a vibrant community, to do what we can to help our small business owners. And in no way, shape, or form is the mayor helping small businesses a political favor. I guess it is a favor, but it's something that I believe is the responsibility of the mayor to advocate on behalf of his businesses and residents. Now, one thing I do want to bring up, and I think that this sort of helps give context to some of the things that have gone on in the past, and I also think it'll help give context to some of the things moving forward in the future from a governing side. Recently, Councilman Bean spoke about investigations. One of the investigations he spoke about was an investigation by the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office about the disbursement of gift cards. The reason why they're investigating is because Councilman Bean contacted them to investigate.
Hold on, time out. Is that true, Chief?
It's not true.
Did I contact the prosecutor's office?
I don't know if you contacted, you did read the information, us, start our investigation here.
So who contacted the prosecutor's office?
we also contact them. I don't know if anyone else did, but we did.
Okay. I give it to the chief, that's all I did.
All right, let's say it is to the chief. The police department doesn't just look into the difference in numbers. They look into things that are criminal. That's what the police department does. But it's not, and here's the important thing, it's not real, but it is an investigation. And let me give you an example. Let's say Councilwoman Blackburn's bike went missing. And Councilwoman Nicolay said to the chief, you know, Chief, I think Matt Doherty stole Councilwoman Blackburn's bike. The chief would be obligated to contact me and say, Matt, did you steal Councilwoman Blackburn's bike? And I would say, no, I didn't steal her bike. But was I investigated for it? Was I questioned about it? That's all true. But it's not a real investigation. So I think it's important to understand that when it comes to things like our gift cards and other investigations, they're not real. But you can always make an accusation about anyone for any reason. And there is an obligation on the police department or any other investigative body to actually investigate. Oftentimes, they go nowhere, but that doesn't come out. So it's you know, you can make an accusation. If it never goes anywhere, it just dies where it's at. The second thing I think that also gives some context to trying to work in this government, you know, we have made a real effort to work with the governor, who's a different party than the majority up here, a real effort to work with the freeholders, who are a different party up here than the majority up here. And we've worked well, particularly with Sandy-related issues. The one group that we've had a difficult time with are working with members of the other party here in town. And you know, I don't want people to think it's a difference of opinion or a difference of policy. It's actually done by design. And let me read directly from the website for the Republican who ran for council this past year, who's obviously an influential person in the Republican Party. And this, to quote it directly, I have never seen any positive results for taxpayers when the two parties work together. So by design, our friends in the Republican Party in Belmar are not going to work with us on a governing level. Obviously, politically, of course they're not going to work with us, right? We have our team and they have their team, and you have an election and whoever wins, wins, and whoever loses, loses. But I always think that for government to work best, it's when people of different parties work together. So Democrats, it's easy to work with Democrats, Republicans, it's easy to work with Republicans. It's when the two work together that you get real results for your community. And just to read it again, I have never seen any positive results for taxpayers when the two parties work together. In other words, the minority party, by design, has no interest in working with us because they don't think it's to the benefit of the taxpayer. So again, I think that puts a lot of what's happened the last year or two in context, and I think that'll help frame moving forward. And I hope that is a good frame, especially for our friends in the media, as they cover what we're going to be doing this year and next year as well. That's all for my report. Next is public session on, public session on resolutions. So I'll open this up for public comment on the resolution calendar. If anyone has any questions, comments, please raise your hand when you be called on and come up. This is just on the resolution calendar. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public portion for the resolution calendar.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Next, I'll offer a move for adoption, resolution authorizing payment of bills. Any second?
Second?
Councilman Keel Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes?
Councilman Mitchell?
Yes.
Mayor Barry?
Yes. Next is our consent agenda. But I'm going to guess there's at least one item on here that it's going to be requested to come off the consent agenda. Does any member of the council like to remove any of the consent agenda items onto just a regular resolution calendar?
Before we get, can you just explain the bottom one, the vacation of easement between the borough of Belmar and HJB? So she put that in, and just explain it.
We're all going on vacation. So, if you walk out of here, there's the Ice House, AKA the Pied Piper. You know the vacation of easement?
No, I'm sorry, this one has to do with, the Freedman's property, which has been closed on now.
Oh,
by
that's right,
everyone.
sorry, I'm thinking,
Yeah,
that's a
I'm just
different
gonna turn
vacation.
you around southward, look that way.
Sorry, so on the Freedman's property, there's part of the building,
With sunroom,
right, that was never vacated by the town.
yeah.
And for them to move forward with the brewery, they need that part of the building to be that part of the building.
Basically, when they were moving towards sale on that building, they were doing title searches and cleaning up everything, they noticed that this sunroom had been constructed and the borough never vacated that portion of the property.
What do we use it for?
It's part of the borough sidewalk, the sunroom would not be there. It's part of the Freedman's property, they built over it.
They built over it, do we have any idea what year?
78, I think it said.
Yeah, so it's
Almost
just
sold.
cleaning up sort of what was.
Okay, and that being said, I would just like to pull out the SID, please.
So that's the second one.
Correct, let's see.
Do you want to make a motion to pull that off?
I would, I'd like to motion to pull it off, please.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Blackburn? Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Darrell?
Yes. So that resolution is now on the resolution calendar. So I will offer move for adoption. Resolution approving the calendar year 2014 Special Improvement District budget and assessment roll.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman
Are
Dean?
we voting on again?
Voting on approval of the resolution approving the SID budget.
Sid.
Okay, this is the actual approval.
Yeah.
Sal, I'm just gonna address you real quick, I know you, your projected activities for the proposed 2014 budget, I wanna read them real quick. Maintain guest information centers with town map, maintain existing and add additional waywood signs, add welcome signs, enhance signage for parking, working on light issues with JCP&L, promote Main Street, streetscape light improvements. I think this is the town's function. I mean, we are just taking what the borough's job and we're giving it to you. And, you know, and I think so if the SID ever goes away, it's kind of saying none of this stuff is gonna happen anymore. And all we're doing is just taking our responsibility and pushing it on the SID, and we're giving you guys the power to tax to pay for it. So if your budget is $100,000 every year, it's gonna take you, and he said about 5 years to do it, for $500,000, you can accomplish these tasks, when it's really the borough's job to do this without that extra tax.
That's what I said.
So that's just my opinion, you know, I wish they would take that SID money out of the taxes that you're paying already. I don't think it should be an additional tax. That's my opinion, so I'm voting no.
Okay.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Darrell?
Yes. Next, I'll offer move for adoption the consent agenda.
Yes. Do a second?
Yeah, second.
Councilman Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Darrell?
Yes. Next are ordinances. This is second reading of public hearing, ordinance 2014-2. So this is open for public hearing. This is regarding housing and property maintenance. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Brendan Reed, 100 Ninth Avenue, Belmar. Yeah, my comments are, I can both lump both into ordinance 2014-02 and 2014-03 together. And the question I have is for both of these, when will the amended codes come into effect?
20 days.
20 days.
20 days.
And for both of these ordinances and both for the amended codes, Under what conditions would existing properties have to be brought up to the new codes? Yeah, because, yeah,
Would just be moving forward,
Yeah.
any new inspections that they do or rentals and, property sales will follow the new ordinances, it wouldn't have to, nobody would have to.
Not prospective is what she's saying.
yeah, because I understand, for example, like with the national electrical code, that if there's or with other regulations, that if there's substantial renovations to building, they would have to be brought up to the new code. So I'm just kind of curious what's the case in the,
No, I believe the statute is only applying, or this ordinance is only applying moving forward, not prospective.
okay.
And after the appeal time for this ordinance has expired, then the ordinance would then be in effect.
Okay, for example, let's take an existing building like apartment and office, I can give an example. For example, I live in Ocean Harbor Apartments, which was built originally in 1968, 69. Would that have to be brought, would that have to be brought up, for example, like under,
They're gonna have to comply with the proposed ordinance in accordance, after the appeal time has expired.
okay, thank you.
Thanks. Yes, on the ordinance?
That's what I want to ask you. That's for what, Councilman, Ben didn't say, or something else?
Something
Okay,
else. All right.
that's what I want.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
All in favor?
Aye. Next, I'll move an offer for adoption, ordinance 2014-2.
Second?
Councilmember, Field Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Barry?
Yes. Next is ordinance 2014-3. This is also the second reading and public hearing. Any comments, questions on this ordinance regarding fire prevention? Pretty boring ordinance, but important.
Important.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on it. Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Yeah, I'll offer a move for adoption, ordinance 2014-3.
Second?
Councilman Field Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Barry?
Yes, last on our second reading public hearing is ordinance 2014-4. This is supplementing regarding public safety. Any public comments on this on the public hearing? I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'll offer move for adoption, ordinance 2014-4.
Second?
Councilman Field Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Barry?
Yes. Next is first reading and introduction, ordinance 2014-6. Ordinance amending supplementing Chapter 20 licenses general, the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Belmar and the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, Section 20-13 yard sales. We discussed this at our last meeting in workshop. So this is just first reading and introduction. So I'd like to offer for first reading.
Councilman Field Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Barry?
Yes. And that's our ordinance calendar. Next is public session. Public session is very simple. Just raise your hand, wait to be called on, go to the microphone, state your name, address for the record. You have 5 minutes to talk about whatever you like. If you have any questions, or you can take your information down, or we'll get back to you as soon as we can on it. Again, this is an opportunity for you, the public, to discuss whatever you like. We ask that you keep it pertinent to Belmar, but if you want to talk about pitchers and catchers and what's going on in spring training, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Connie,
I can talk about that.
whatever you like,
Second tax bill, right?
whatever you
That's
like.
what I want, as,
Whatever you want to talk about.
as Mr. Councilman Bean says.
Just your name and address for the record.
County Borges, 1002 Main Street. I'm a Greek immigrant, my English is still bad. I was there before most people was here say. and I said the last time, kill the bill. We don't need any more taxes bills to pay, because your jobs, all the years, I'm 50 years, and if I put us in 1955, I'm more like 60 years I was visiting. About 50 years permanent. The town was decorated right, the workers was decorated right, and we pay only one bill, and know how to this one, outsiders can tell us what to do with our town. You are in charge, and we like to see you work for taxpayers and lower taxes and no any more bills. Please, listen to taxpayers. They need the help. They cannot pay.
Yep, come on.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to make a little public
Name and address
comment.
for the record.
Dirk Reisman, 1509 River Road, no business in town level. I'm also on the board of directors of the Belmar Business Partnership. Just as a hint, okay, rather than trying to point out in public your feelings about criticisms and things like that, it becomes quite obvious to the public how ill-founded some of those criticisms are and how politically motivated they are. I don't think that you're enhancing your cause by responding to them. I think I'd probably just let it go. The cream rises to the top, and we know what happens to the other stuff. Councilman Bean, you have hit the nail right on the head with the Belmar Business Partnership. You are absolutely correct. There's only one problem. The town doesn't have the staff, and the town doesn't have the funds to complete the projects that we've done. It's not there, which is why we were created. And since the entire population of the town shouldn't necessarily have to pay for the business community's improvement, SID type of organization was created in the state of New Jersey. We're not the only one. Places where they have been created have been very successful. One of the ancillary benefits of it is that the general population's property values have skyrocketed because of it. And there are plenty of examples that are staring right in the face. So what happens is that the SID type of organization becomes a really, really, really economical way for a business district to improve relative to what would occur in a generalized town council type of situation. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, Dave.
David Schnack, 302 C Street. Well, I guess I'll ask a rhetorical question since my first rhetorical question. Is there a difference between the public session on the resolution calendar and ordinances versus the public session, the general public session? Because I see a lot of questions being asked about different ordinances and such. So I don't see any kind of distinction made here that one is for questions only and one is for comments only and one is allows questions. So maybe we should change the agenda to say for the resolution calendar, public session, comments and questions, and for the general public session, no questions allowed or something like that. Because I thought they were the same, just one was pertaining to to a specific topic, and the other one is anything in general. So I don't expect an answer. Next thing, I heard your, just in case anybody here doesn't know, the mayor was quoting my blog, commonsenseforbelmar.com, and so I'll ask you the only person willing to answer a question, Mr. Bean. In your recollection, has any time the Democrats and Republicans at the Belmar level, at the state level, at the federal level, in your recent memory, gotten together to cut taxes? Cut taxes?
This is all politics. I'm here to do Belmar's
You know,
business, not play
I'm
politics.
talking about the taxpayers. I have to answer this because my blog was mentioned. Sure, they get together to raise spending a lot, and they get together to help certain residents, certain people at the expense of other people. But I specifically said taxpayers. And in my general experience, when they are in agreement, usually it's a taxpayer. I would say nearly every time it's a taxpayer that is not represented at the table. So I stand by my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Pfeiffer, 319 Fifth Avenue. I applaud you for the changes to the beach. I think it's going to be great for this year. Is there any update on Taylor when you will be grading ground?
Again, if you give her your info, she will get back to you on all that information.
Okay, I will do that. And with the, some of the concession stands being on Ocean Avenue, did that reduce some of the parking revenue this year?
Again, we'll absolutely get back to you tomorrow on that.
Information on how many spots we think.
Okay, all right.
But we'd also understand that you're voicing a concern on that tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's phone number, maybe? Thanks.
Real simple rules. So you raise your hand, would get called on. So, you can sit next to Sal. Sure. Okay, Brandon.
Brendan Reed, 109th Avenue. I'm glad to hear about the benches. I'm sure my wife has, and I think she's mentioned that to you on a number of occasions. Just a couple of questions. Will the benches be, just be paid totally private, from private funding? Or?
We can get back to you on whatever question you have. This is a common period. So.
Right, okay, great, thank you.
But, all right.
Morgan Einhorn, 613 10th Avenue, Belmar. I just want to thank you all for the ability to put my mom and dad's name on it. You know, I think it's a really nice thing. And we'll be getting one at least.
Yes, ma'am.
Do a job. I have a couple jobs. Maria Florio, 115 12th Avenue. As a resident, can I ask you for a favor? Can you do something about the Belmar Inn? It is unbelievable what goes on there. I cannot go outside. I'm afraid to go outside with the people that live there. That's number one. Number two, I like St. Patrick's Day, but it's becoming a real drinking day. Now, opening the bars, I have to tell you about an incident that I was never so petrified in all my life. I had a crazy drunk come to my door, you know my house, a door, sliding door, and a front door. He came trying to open the door, banging on the window, went to the sliding door, did the same thing. I said, you better leave, you're drunk, I'm gonna call the cops. Went on for 10 minutes, went around to the front of the house, tried to get in, and there I am petrified. What do? Of course I called the cops. And they came, thank you. They responded, and I was a nervous wreck. Now, this is all because of drinking. And I do my share of drinking. It's not that I'm against it. But to have it so soon, like if it wasn't open, the bars weren't open, if it was contained on Main Street, great. But they're walking the streets, and you know what? I didn't find it enjoyable, and again, I was a nervous wreck. I didn't know where to turn. If that door was open, I don't know what he would have done. Of course, he was drunk. The next day, he probably didn't know what he did, but I knew the next day. and I couldn't sleep that night, so that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close public session and adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's all? That's it? That's all.